Hey everybody, welcome into the latest edition of the Westwood Living Podcast. Tom Leyden with you. This is the Tom and Tom Show because I'm pleased to be joined by Tom O'Rourke, who is the President and CEO of the Neponset River Regional Chamber of Commerce. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Hey, Tom. Great, and it's great to have you here in the Chamber World Headquarters.
It is the world headquarters. We are in the officially called the Space Center here. Isn't that what it's called?
That's right, the Norwood Space Center, yeah.
This is a cool spot. How long have you been here?
We've been here since we moved it during COVID, so it's been about 5 years.
Okay.
That we've been here, and we've really enjoyed it. It's been great. It gives us an opportunity to host meetings here, and we have this beautiful outdoor courtyard where we've had some meetings at. So a lot of options for us here. It's been great.
Well, plenty to talk about, but I want to have people understand exactly who you are, what the chamber does. So let's have that conversation first.
Sure.
How long have you been engaged with the Neponset River Regional Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I'm going to age myself, but it goes back to 1992 is when I started here originally as a membership director. And then over time, as my career developed, I became president of a couple of other chambers before returning here 15 years ago.
What are your primary goals and responsibilities as the person who oversees this whole thing?
I think it's to try to continue to be the premier business, the voice of business in the region, to serve the local business community and be there for them to help connect them to one another, connect them to the community, and connect them also lately to local school systems.
There's plenty to hop into. I would just want to give my own testimonial. You know, when we started our business, which is now 4 years ago, the first thing you do is like, all right, I got to join Chamber of Commerce just to be in touch with the other business owners. And what I've enjoyed most, and of course, there's the golf outing, which we'll talk about, and the Taste of the Region, which we'll talk about, which are events that you spearhead. But the very regular lunch events, the lunch and learn, the meet people, that kind of stuff. Has that been successful? Because that's what I've really enjoyed the most, to be able to sit with other business owners and learn a little bit about their businesses, share with them what we do. Was that something you introduced, or how long has that been part of what you do?
That goes way back to even when I started back in the 90s. Before I even worked here, I was a member of the chamber, and I would go to those lunches, and I hated them because I was a young kid coming up and networking with all these folks who I felt uncomfortable with, and I thought, this is terrible. I don't want to network. And then shortly thereafter, I became an employee of the chamber, and I was encouraging people to gotta go to the networking. It's an unnatural act. So the way we do the lunches is to structure them so that people can do it in a more comfortable way. And if they're have a hard time coming out of their shell, we prompt them and we help them and help make those connections.
So before I shift quickly over to the Taste of the Region, which is coming up early next month of April, I want to ask one more kind of logistical question about what sort of feedback do you get from members about how you help them the most? What are some of the most useful things that you do as the president of the Chamber of Commerce and your organization in general for local business owners?
Sure. I think the networking connections is still number one. That's what people enjoy the most. But lately, over the last couple of years, we've been running these programs. We've received grant money, and we've been able to do a program where we provide technical assistance to small businesses that were impacted by COVID. Maybe they had to pivot and shift their business to more of an online presence, an online store, update their website, social media. So we've worked with Kerry Aglagub with KMA, who you know, and Trish White, to provide services to probably a dozen businesses now, where we've basically gone in and rebuilt their website, rebuilt their social media campaign, and kept them alive. And that's really rewarding when you see a business that's struggling and you can provide a service to keep them going. It's huge.
Yeah, no kidding. So the next big event, which is always one of I've actually never been. I've never been to the Taste of the Region, so I got to kick myself in the butt and go to this year's event. But I've of course seen the photos and shared the photos in Westwood Living, which I love. Is the Taste of the Region, and the Taste of the Region is coming up on April 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
You're
is that
correct,
right?
yes.
And is it at Blue Hill again?
It is, Blue Hill Country Club.
So Blue Hill Country Club, which is a fantastic place. Take us through what this is all about, and just I give you the floor to sort of talk about what people should expect should they buy some tickets and show up on the 8th.
Yeah, this event is a lot of fun. people can network and go there and build business connections there, but this is a fun night out. It's an opportunity to get out and sample a lot of the different restaurants, caterers, breweries that we have in the area. So you're going to get a full meal, even though it's coming in sample sizes. You won't get to eat at every place that's there. It's that good. There's raffles, there's music. It's just a lot of fun, and I encourage folks to come out. It's a way to support not only each other, but to support the local restaurants and find out a restaurant. Oh boy, I didn't know that restaurant was in Canton, because I always eat in Dedham. So you expand your horizons a little bit.
There was one, and I don't know if they're on the roster this year. You want to go through the roster? Why don't we do that first, and then I'll make my observation from last year's.
Sure. A couple of the folks that we've got coming this year, Barcino, Trillium Brewery, Raven's Nest, and Tessie's are participating this year for the first time. We're excited about that. Neroli's coming back, Liberty in Maine from Legacy Place, Capitol Grill, Vico from Norwood Center, Dilly Delights, a new Indian restaurant in Norwood, is going to be there. So we got a really nice mix of different types of restaurants. So you're going to have a wide variety of choices when you get there.
Yeah, I've given a lot of money to a lot of those restaurants.
Yeah.
You're rattling them off. I'm like, that's my hit list right there.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to show up. Generally, how many people are we looking to have in this room on that given night? What's a successful night?
Yeah, about 150 people is good. It fills the room, and it makes sure that we don't want to overtax the restaurants either. We don't want to say come and provide food for 400 people.
Sure.
So 150 we think is a reasonable limit, and that's what we're looking for.
So logistically, how do people go about getting tickets, and how much does it cost?
Sure, it's real simple. It's $50 a ticket, and they can go to our website, nrrchamber.com. The taste event is right there on the homepage, so it's easy to find, and you can register right online.
Okay, April 8th. What time does it start?
5:30 to 7:30, and
great.
It's not one of those events where you got to be there the whole time. You can just come and go as you please.
Okay, love it.
Yeah.
April 8th. Got it marked. Got to get there this year. You mentioned Carrie Aglugub, who also works with us on our website. I think I met Carrie originally through the chamber. So when you talk about those lunches and how it can affect your business, she's probably one of my biggest partners because of all the support she gives us in building the website. In fact, I spoke with Carrie on the drive down here because we're dealing with an issue on the website. New website for you at this stage of the game, is that right?
I was talking to Carrie today myself, because that's exactly what we're doing, is building out a new website for the chamber. It's been 7 years since we last updated it. Things have changed, obviously, technologically since then. So we're actually bringing in a new database management system, and we're going to do the website along with that. And we're using Carrie and Trish to do the work.
Now, what was cool is I remember, I think in 2022, Carrie was recognized as the business person of the year. So congrats to her, number one. But number two, what's that program all about? How does someone become the business person of the year?
Sure. We have an annual meeting every January, and we give out 4 awards each year. It's really a great opportunity for us to shine a light on local businesses, because they all do so much. You see it in your work with all the folks you deal with. These businesses give back, but they don't always get the recognition for it. And so we recognize a small business, a large business, a business person to more of an individual, and then a volunteer, somebody who helps us out here at the chamber. So it's great for us to recognize those folks who are doing well by doing good.
Love it. So the Taste of the Region is April 8th, but there are other events that you also host and organize throughout the year that are bigger events. Most notably for me is the golf outing, right? Which I was away for last year. Do you have a date on it? Do you know when it is?
I should have consulted your calendar first,
I know.
Hopefully it'll work. We've got July 27th.
Yes, I'll be here.
All right,
okay,
excellent.
We leave on August 1st this year for vacation. It was the same week last year. Unfortunately, we took the last week of July and went to Europe, so we missed it. But that's always a fun one. I use it as a way, as a business owner, to bring some of my own clients, right? But I know a lot of your business owners will use it as a way to maybe entice or entertain their own employees and give them a day out at Blue Hill. Is it again
at Blue Hill?
Yep.
Again at Blue Hills. They take very good care of us, and but I think for other folks, I think what you're doing is a smart move. Bring some of your clients or wannabe clients, and treat them to a day out.
Well, I've got a couple go-tos. Like if it's a competition, and I believe that yours is a competition, there are some that are automatics. Like Justin LaRose, who does work at JPL Media Works. I invited him not knowing how good he was, and every golf outing I go to now,
so
Justin's my first call.
There you go.
So it really becomes I only have 2 spots open.
Right. Yeah. I don't get invited often for those reasons.
No, but when you're the anchor of the foursome, you're not usually the one who gets invited back in the competitive nature. What else you got cooking here that's going on? One of the things that jumped off this list as we were looking at it before we started was some work you're doing with the Norwood Hospital site, which is obviously such a sore subject because, since the flood happened, they've not been able to treat patients. And I watch every day along Route 109, ambulances go streaming by from Sharon, from Foxborough. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how big of an area that Norwood Hospital treats. But how are you engaged with what's going on there?
Yeah, Tom, this is a public health crisis for not just Norwood, but the region. And there is a committee to bring back Norwood Hospital of some local business folks. And we've been working closely with them most recently to go into the State House to testify on a bill that Representative Rogers and Senator Rush filed that would allow the state to take the property by eminent domain. As many people know, we've got a brand new shell of a building there, but nothing inside and no provider to operate it. So our feeling is if we can get control of the property, then we can negotiate with a provider, one of the big hospitals in Boston, ideally, to come in, take over, finish the build out, and run the hospital and bring back what we've had for over 100 years here as a regional health center.
Sure, that's vital.
Yeah.
So, I like the way that you couch that as a vital health issue at this stage of the game. So what are the next steps in that process?
So we testified before a committee, and they have voted favorably to move it out of committee to the full House. So the bill goes before the House. Hopefully they get they support it. Then it goes to the Senate, and then ultimately to the governor for her signature.
Wow. And then the process is what? If it is deemed that the Commonwealth can take it over via eminent domain? Is that who takes it over? The Commonwealth takes it over?
Commonwealth takes it by eminent domain. They would have to pay the property owner, Medical Properties Trust, fair market value for the property, and which we don't think is going to be very high at this point, given the what's on it now is an empty building, and then the state would negotiate with with a provider and try to get them in there. So it's still a process, and even if, let's say it happened tomorrow, still a couple of years before they finish building it out.
Oh, such a shame. Yeah, it's really it's devastating what's happened there. The other things I'm looking at here on your list, what's up with the bracket challenge? I'm sure we're in the midst of that right now, but people can't still enter, can they?
No, they can't. But our young professionals started doing this a few years ago, just to have some fun with the tournament, and unfortunately, my bracket's been busted almost on the first day. But we got about a dozen folks participating in that, and it's really just for bragging rights and a little bit of money.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not allowed to bet because I have this little side gig where I work for the NFL, and I'm not allowed to bet on any sport at all, including they tell us very explicitly you cannot participate in a bracket, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
But these are the rules, so that's what you have to deal with. But we did consider, because I do have a daughter who goes to Michigan State, it is rare that you see a foursome in one location on any given weekend. That's awesome. But that bracket down there in Washington, D.C., which starts tomorrow, is MSU and UConn and Duke and St. John's.
Oh, wow.
That's a day.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, it's close. We can take the train. We can fly down quick. We debated it, but there's a lot going on. So we said, maybe not. We got the Gala of Giving tonight. We're recording this on the 26th of March, so we got the Gala of Giving tonight. What other events you got? What's this thing happening at Plain Ridge Park on April 13th?
Yeah, we're doing an after-hours event on Plain Ridge on the 13th, and the reason it's Monday the 13th. Monday's not a great night to go out, but it's opening day for the harness racing, so that's cool. Why we go there. We'll be overlooking the track. You can watch the races. You can bet. Other people can bet on the races,
not me.
Not you.
These are. I didn't even think of that. Like, I can't even bet on the ponies.
But it's a lot of fun. We do it with 7 other chambers in the state, so pretty much all the chambers in southeastern Mass have members there. We'll get about 200 or more people. It's an opportunity to see other faces, meet other people from around the region, and have some fun while you're doing it.
You deal with so many different business owners at various stages of their development, from when they're first starting to when they've been around for 5, maybe 10 years. You've been doing this for so long yourself. What pearls of wisdom do you have for, let's just start early, someone who's starting a business that you feel almost compelled to give them the advice, like, hey, listen, I've seen this.
Oh, yeah.
What's most important for somebody who's thinking about starting a business?
Yeah, I think using the resources, most of which are free, that the state and federal government offer, and that's SBA, SCORE, Seed Corporation, MSBDC, all of these. And we have all of these on our website. But every now and then we'll bring folks in from these different organizations and basically have an open house for small businesses to come and learn what resources are available. And it's remarkable to me what businesses can get from this. Again, at no cost. They can help you with a business plan. They can help you figure out your financing. They can help you with marketing and social media development and all of these different things. And a lot of folks either don't know about them or just don't take advantage of them. And I think if they did, they'd be more successful in the long run.
I like that. That's good. Yeah. One thing I learned, and I would pass on, and I was certainly guilty of this, is that when you're first starting out, you do have to have some patience in terms of not being over aggressive, particularly when you come to these types of events, because you want to get things going so quickly that you want people to act right away. But the reality is people need to get to know you.
Right.
People need to know who you are.
You got to build trust.
And that's almost when we're selling advertising and sponsorships and what we do, we're talking about that, where you have to build that trust, and it's not a magic pill or a magic button where all of a sudden just because you show up, your doorbell's going to be ringing or your phone's going to be calling. So that was a lesson I learned. And I have enjoyed the more slow burn of getting to know people over the course of time. And then the second or third lunch you come to, there are more familiar faces.
Right.
And you're like, okay, I've heard that guy talk a little bit, and now I'm going to engage with that person. It's been interesting to learn that, and that, people are antsy.
And I think the other piece of that too is when you're meeting those people, if you're new in business, there's a sounding board for you. These are folks who have been in business who you can take advantage of your relationship with them to ask them what works, what doesn't, and use them for advice. So I find a lot of chamber members are pretty good at using other chamber members as that's almost like a board of directors.
Yeah. And it is a bit of a softer entry when you can say to somebody, hey, I'm also in the Chamber of Commerce. So membership is always key. It's probably the foundation of your business. You're always looking to add new business owners. So what does it entail to be a member of the Neponset River Regional Chamber of Commerce?
Sure. At a very simple level, it's an annual dues payment to become a member. And then we offer a whole variety of programs and events, some of which we've talked about today. But there is no requirement for anybody to attend. I actually had one member tell me he didn't have the time to join the chamber. I said, you don't have to attend anything. He said, okay, I'll sign up tomorrow. So because he believes in what we do, and he wanted to support the organization, even though he knows he's not going to be an active member. He's a financial supporter, and we appreciate that. But members can be as active as they want or not.
I can't let you get out of here without knowing whether or not you use the term, it's a Chamber of Commerce Day. Do you use that?
Probably too often.
All right. I didn't know if that was too stereotypical.
Absolutely. Guilty.
But that's okay, because when it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, it is a Chamber of Commerce Day.
That's right.
And this is the guy who runs the Chamber of Commerce. That's Tom O'Rourke, the president and CEO of the Neponset River Regional Chamber of Commerce. We'd love to see you all on April 8th at Blue Hill Country Club for the Taste of the Region. But obviously go to the website, which is nrrchamber.com. Put together by our good friend, Carrie Aglugub. Right. Thank you, Tom, for joining us. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And as always, here's the spiel at the end of every episode. If there's somebody you want me to have a conversation with, just reach out, send an email to tleyden@bestversionmedia.com. I will find that person or those people and have a conversation, which we will then share with you right here on the Westwood Living Podcast Network. But for now, from the headquarters of the NRR
Chamber.
I didn't know if there was another R.
Regional Chamber.
And NRRC, the Neponset River Regional Chamber. I'm Tom. That's Tom O'Rourke. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.